Nice job, Tara. Nice job. Ladies and gentlemen, live from the bowels of the Bisco bunker, deep in the heart of New York City, the geographic center of Woodside, Queens, from the Guanciale and the exterior folks from the legend and the legions of the Guanciale, from the Lazio community, from Italy, Lake Como. How about a big hand, ladies and gentlemen, for the founder and the head dishwasher of the Block Island Seafood Company, ladies and gentlemen, Craig Garrity. Oh, a little delayed reaction, folks. That is so kind of you. That is, you know, I get overwhelmed, I guess, every time I hear that big round of applause. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this a lot of leather I'm wearing tonight? Is that what you're asking? Well, October is also leather month here in Studio 1C. No, I'm just kidding, because tonight we have such an Italian-themed night. I thought I'd wear some of the leather items that Maureen picked up for me on our honeymoon when she went to Italy. And I went to Little Italy, because she said that we couldn't afford both of us to go to Italy. So she said one of us would go, but that she said it was great. She said it was a great time, and she, she sent postcards. So she said it was a great honeymoon. So you gotta, and she said sometimes you have to cut corners. So I just trust her. Maureen's with us tonight. She's behind the camera for the first time in a little while because she doesn't have any class tonight. As a lot of you people know, Maureen doesn't have any class. Let me just slip out of this. Yeah, we were roaming through Florence. In Florence, they sell a lot of leather. And Florence is also known for their Florentinian steak, which is a select cut of beef, of cattle, grown in Florence. And then after they sell all those steaks, obviously they have a lot of leather. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. You can't just throw this away. Mm-mm. So I'm wandering down a beautiful street in Florence, Italy, and this man says to me, "Buongiorno, signore." And I said, he said, "Yeah." And I walked into his shop, and he said, "Let me guess, you're not too tall, you are a trim man, you have trouble finding a jacket that fits your short arms?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Not here." And he put me into this leather jacket, and I don't know if it was all the pizza and wine that we had the night before, but I said, "I'll take it." And over in the corner, there was Maureen trying on a little black leather jacket like Linda Ronstadt, and I said, "And get her that jacket too." The beauty of being on your honeymoon, you're just spending, you don't care. Maureen, would you be so kind? Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. And this is my leather attaché, which some of you will note says CBG. Craig Boss Garrity. B is for boss. Would you please? Mm-hmm. Thank you, honey. Mm-hmm. Why the Italian theme tonight of my attire? Well, I feel like we have something working here, honey. Better fix that.
Yeah. I see that.
Well, it just happened. When Blue Point Bayport Library booked us for tonight, I asked Kelly, "Any requests?" And she said, "Yeah, how about scallops oreganata?" Sure, why not? And then I figured we'll just pair that up with some spaghetti carbonara because the weather is starting slowly to cool off a little bit. And in the cooler months, just like in the hot months, I eat a lot of spaghetti. Maureen is laughing behind the camera. I don't know if the folks will be able to hear your laughter. Maybe I should take these out.
Oh, it's okay.
Well, I don't know if the folks aren't going to pick up your witty, nasty comments.
Can they hear me?
Can you hear Maureen in the back? Sound check, Maureen.
Check one, check one. Check two.
Now we'll wait and see what happens. Yeah, so Bayport Blue Point Library requested these dishes, so here we are. Two of my absolute favorites. Anything Oreganata. I love it. You're probably used to having clams Oreganata mostly. But tonight we're going to do scallops Oreganata. I've got the oven working. We're going to do spaghetti carbonara. We're going to do the scallops Oreganata. I'm going to bake those. And you can even put those over pasta if you wanted. It's up to you. Where should we begin? Well, I'll get these scallops working. I'll get the carbonara working. We're going to do two things at once. You think that'll be okay, honey?
Yeah, I don't think they can hear me.
You think...
Ask them.
Can you folks hear Maureen when she says things behind the camera? I'm just going to do this, and we'll see what happens. But you know Danielle's not going to be able to hear anything.
Is she on?
I don't know. Danielle, if you're out there, I hope you can hear me. We got the lights. Okay, let's rock and roll. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little heat going on this pan. Oh, that's... Here's my pan. I'm going to use this pan for the carbonara. I'm going to get a little heat working on that. And that's already in the works, so that's good. A couple of things I want to do. First and foremost, we're going to do the bacon and the pancetta for the carbonara, just to get that started. Now, while you folks were sitting at home, just doing nothing, I was here working, okay? I was the one who put the bacon in the freezer when none of you did anything. So spaghetti carbonara, I'll tell you a little bit more about the history of it, but it's always going to start out with some pork. In this case, we're going to use a little bit of pancetta. We're going to use a little bit of American bacon, okay? And the thing with this is we want to cube this up. Now, you'll notice that this bacon is not really moving too much because I had it in the freezer for just a little bit. And by putting it in the freezer for a little bit, it means it won't slide all over the cutting board. And that's just a tip for you folks at home. It cuts nice and easy. You know, you try to cut bacon that's either room temperature or that's even just refrigerated, it's going to get a little slimy. It's going to move around a lot. Now here we have some pancetta, and again, I'll explain the difference of all this later on. But I put this in the freezer as well, just because I knew I wanted to be able to cut it up nice and easy. You can get pancetta at an Italian deli. You can get it at the supermarket.
You can get it in a plastic thing.
Yes, you can buy it already chopped in a plastic thing.
Should they?
Nah, why bother? You can do this, folks. We've watched enough of these cooking demos at this point that you know how to cut. You know how to keep those fingers out of here. Look at this. A lot of you folks can see my wedding ring. Watch what happens when I do this.
No one's commenting.
Well, I hope they can hear us. Where's Big Jim?
It's been 8 minutes since someone said something.
Where is Big Jim? Where's the Blue Point Bayport Library? Where is Kelly Sheridan? That's what I'd like to know. So I'm going to get these things started, and I'm going to come back and tell you a little bit more about it. But in the meantime, you stay right there, Maureen. You don't even have to do anything. So I got a nice hot pan here, and I know that my pan's good and hot. You can already hear it start to sizzle, and it's not even on the fire. I did all this to save you a trip.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, whatever. I try to be a good husband, you know?
You are a good husband.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Last month's review did not show that. Now, I don't know how many of you folks out there have married Maureen's nervous. What's wrong?
Big Jim just texted.
What'd he say?
I don't know. Can people hear it?
Can people hear me? Big Jim? Are you okay? Let's take a look and see what's going on here. We got 30 people watching. Linda's there. Are you checking? I can see everyone's remarks.
Oh, but
Sorry,
they're not coming.
thank you, Linda.
Okay, because they're not coming through on the phone.
Oh, they weren't coming through on the phone, and Maureen didn't want to go over to the computer, which is
I didn't know that.
1 foot away. It was too far a trip, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, I kid, Maureen. But I was saying before.
I don't need to be in the show. I can say.
I was saying earlier how Maureen just said, "Oh, I am a good husband." Every month, we have like an HR person who comes to the apartment, and Maureen has me fill out these forms, and then she kicks back to me my review as a husband every month. It's pretty annoying, but you know I'm doing really good, and I'm up for a raise soon, so that's good. So I'm just going to get a little heat under here, and we're going to get that working, and then I'll tell you lots and lots about spaghetti carbonara. In the meantime, scallops oreganata. Now, oreganata in most Italian cooking, usually people assimilate with clams oreganata, or the baked clams. So the baked clams oreganata is sort of what we're going to make tonight. So in New England, where you would have the stuffy, or baked stuffed clam, up in Rhode Island they call them stuffies. And that would be a breadcrumb stuffing of clams and bacon and some various vegetables, usually celery and onion, maybe a little green pepper.
Oh, Leslie's on.
Yeah, Leslie got on early. And then there's the baked clams that you would have like at an Italian restaurant, where it would be the clam on the half shell. It'd be a whole clam on the half shell with some seasoned breadcrumbs. That's sort of like what we're going to do tonight with regards to the scallops. So first thing we want to do, we got a little heat working under this pan right here. I'm going to hit that with some olive oil. You're going to need a little bit of white wine for this dish tonight. People ask me all the time, do I cook with wine? I say yes. And sometimes it makes it into the food. Oh, God. Oh, God. Thank you, folks. I'm glad you were here for that one. That's a great one. A lot of people love that one. A lot of people are talking about it, actually. So we start out with a little bit of garlic. And that's going to go right into that olive oil. I want to get a shallot. You might notice here, got a lot of lemons in the bowl tonight because in Positano, Italy, the seashore town of Positano on the Amalfi Coast, where Maureen and I had some of our most romantic days of our honeymoon, walking around, holding hands, sun, on the patio. I got stitches.
You did.
That was awful.
Oh, that was our first night.
First night in Positano, and I got stitches.
Stephen Vella says hello.
Hey, Steve. Welcome. Welcome back, buddy. Thank you. Steve's a dedicated Bisco 8. Maybe Maureen will just drop down here real quick for the shallot cam. Now, the shallot is, it's in the onion family. It's not as pungent as the onion. So tonight's shallot cam is brought to you by Johnson & Johnson. Less tears. So what I do here is I just peel this baby right off. And there's our shallot. Shallots are great whether they're cooked or whether you slice them really thin like that for a salad. That's really nice too. But for tonight, what we're gonna do is we're gonna dice up this shallot. So I run my knife back to the root right here. I've taken my knife all the way back here. Turn the shallot just like that. And now one more time. And we've got perfectly diced shallot here. Maureen, I'm going to do this in slow motion, okay? Regular speed.
Got it.
She's sick of that one, but I'm not.
Rich wants to know what's the benefit of the shallot over the onion in this case.
It's a more subtle flavor. That's really it, Rich. That's why the shallot raw in a salad is excellent too. It's just, sometimes you can have an onion, and I love onions, but sometimes you can have them and they're too overpowering.
Yeah.
You know, I believe it was Shakespeare who said through Bottom in A Midsummer Night's Dream, we shall utter no ill words, we shall speak no garlic, we shall eat no garlic, nor onion. So even Shakespeare knew it. Did you know that there'd be some Shakespeare tonight?
No.
Well,
Are you sure that's correct?
Neither did I. And that is almost word for word. I'm doing a thing one night, a set of scenes at a Manhattan theater company with Roger Hendricks, Simon, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's doing Shakespeare. And I had to get up and do a 2-minute piece. And I forgot my lines in front of a couple of hundred people. And I pointed over to this guy, Roy, who was also doing something from the character named Bottom. I said, Roy, line! He threw me the line. We recovered. We were fine. It was okay. So, maybe I have a little bit of butter here. Sure I do. I'm going to take some of this butter. I'm going to put that... I'm going to put that right to our olive oil, our shallot, and our garlic mixture. And let that sort of start to cook down as well. And we're going to be bringing you in for some camera time in a little bit, so don't worry. Any questions out there?
No. Tara just joined.
Welcome back, Tara. All right, so our garlic, our onion, olive oil, and the butter is coming together nicely. I have here some breadcrumbs, a half mix of panko, and I also have some regular breadcrumbs in there. So what I want to do now is take a little bit of lemon zest. I'm going to put the lemon zest right into these breadcrumbs.
Oh, that's interesting.
Thank you. Some people would might call this a gremolata as well.
Oh,
we're gonna
you'll like this question.
Oh, here we go.
Nancy Cavada Morton, how do you stay so young looking? Oh my gosh.
Thanks, Nancy. I'm sorry, Maureen, I couldn't hear that. Could you repeat the question?
You heard it.
Nancy, how do I stay so young looking? I don't know.
You married a young wife.
I did. I married a young woman. Maureen is going to be, she's going to be 18 coming up. So obviously we're going to get married in New York, you know. Yeah. No, I just, you know, just good genes. Stop it. So I have here some panko breadcrumb and a little bit of dried regular breadcrumb. Now remember the panko breadcrumb, that's the thicker cut of breadcrumb. The 4C, the one that we all grew up on, that's our regular breadcrumb. The panko breadcrumb is a gift from our friends from Japan. The Enchanted Islands of Japan. It's an archipelago. Oh. It's made up of a series of islands. So our garlic, our white wine.
That's the wine.
That's the wine. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't want to use this wine because this is the one that I had poured. But it was only a prop. The wine that I put in there is from the box. And you dedicated fans of Bisco know. Always used some Pinot Grigio, a dry white wine. The Sauvignon Blancs, the Chardonnays could be a little too fruity, a little too aromatic. So I like to stick to something dry. And believe it or not, a box of Pinot Grigio is totally fine. I've worked in a lot of restaurants. And that's what they use. They're using a decent box of wine. And also, you can drink it at night, and your wife can't tell how much you drank because it's in a box. Earmuffs, Maureen. Hit the button on that. The people love the button.
What? They're brand new. Do they know that?
Yeah, let's give a shout out here, folks. For anybody who doesn't know that we do not have a real studio audience here because of COVID. And we have a small apartment. So when I come on stage into the set, that's artificial sound from this button. And then when we make really funny comments, thank you. But we burnt through both buttons already. Can you believe that? Since we started doing this back in March, We burned through an apron. We burned through these buttons, rather. I'm sorry about that. So, maybe Maureen will just give us a look here, and I'm going to show you what we got. We had some olive oil, we have white wine, we have shallots, we have garlic, and now I'm going to add these breadcrumbs here, and the lemon zest as well. And that's going to sort of start to just soak up a lot of the flavors. The white wine's going to cook right into the breadcrumb, and we're going to use these breadcrumbs to pack on top of our scallops. So the breadcrumbs right now, I'm just going to give them a little extra toast. As you see, all the liquid is gone. But if I spread these out a little bit, I'll be able to cook out a little bit of the extra moisture. It's not really going to go too far. It's going to stay in the breadcrumb. But I'll get a bit of a toast on the breadcrumb. If you look over here, you'll start to see that our bacon and our pancetta have started to cook up very, very nicely. That's exactly the color we want. Now we just want to try to go about another 2-3 minutes and get some of the white parts here on the American bacon to cook through as well. So we're in great shape here. I want to put a little bit of flavor into these breadcrumbs, a little bit of that lemon juice flavor. So it has to be said, when you're zesting these lemons, be careful. These are very big lemons. You want to stop here at the white part, okay? Because that's... You want to stop here at the white part, okay, folks? Because that's the pith. It's very bitter. So you don't want to get pithed off. Roll that out a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit of some lemon juice into this as well. Beautiful. I got the oven on right now at about 400 degrees. How about some fresh parsley?
How about it?
How about it? Maureen loves fresh parsley. Maureen doesn't like anything green on the plate when, like, you know, we get food. Like if we order, say, chicken wings or something like that, and it comes on a bed of lettuce, she's so upset and so dismayed that they put lettuce on the plate. She always says, "Why do they do this? They don't need it."
I cannot be alone in that.
Folks, snap poll right now. Comment in, are you okay with having a little bit of lettuce garnish on a plate? Let us know, yes or no.
No, you didn't explain. It's a huge leaf of lettuce with scathing hot buffalo wings, but sitting on the lettuce, wilting it and warming it away.
And that's a problem.
It's a huge problem.
Okay.
What's the point?
Just checking. I'm going to do a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper.
Oh, thanks, Leslie.
Leslie's got her friends back.
Maureen is picky.
Well, she's not picky when it comes to men.
Oh.
She's settled.
Stop it.
I'm just kidding.
No, yeah. Sharon McDevitt. No,
okay,
not
Sharon.
under hot food. It gets soggy and gross. Yes, thank you.
Okay, Maureen, you're getting validated here.
Oh, yeah, see?
I'm loving this. Folks, you have no idea how much this is making her happy. So, I've got these breadcrumbs here. They're sort of smashed up right now, but don't worry about it. I'm going to just get them out of this heat. I'm going to put them into this bowl.
Yep, my Uncle Mark is with me, too. Thank you, Uncle Mark.
Hey, welcome, Uncle Mark. Welcome, welcome. I hope you like the neckerchief tonight, Uncle Mark. It's a salute to Italia. And I know that you're a fashionable gentleman who can dance.
Yeah.
Maureen's Uncle Mark and Aunt Mary, they can dance. Hope you're feeling well, Aunt Mary. And before I forget, shout out to Aunt Mary for feeling well. And happy birthday to my goddaughter and my lovely niece, Aisling. Today she's 20 years old. I love you. Aunt Maureen loves you. We also have Aunt Marianne McCluskey's birthday tonight as well.
And tomorrow's Uncle Mark and Aunt Mary's wedding anniversary.
And tomorrow is Uncle Mark and Aunt Mary's wedding anniversary, okay? Folks, October is filled with
busy
special items. So we've got our breadcrumbs working here. I'm going to add a little bit of some Parmesan cheese here. Parmigiano Reggiano. I'm going to work that in. But I'm doing it in this separate bowl because I don't want to get it too melty, in that pan. So here I have my Oreganata, basically. And I'm going to use this. Craig, where's the oregano?
Caitlin Vela said she just joined in wondering what you're making.
Oh, welcome, Caitlin. How are you? I can't hear your response anyway. But I hope you're doing great. I hope you're all doing great.
She wants to know what you're making.
We're making scallops, Oreganata, and we're going to do spaghetti carbonara. Something got my eye. So I have here some wonderful dry sea scallops. What does that mean they're dry? Well, a scallop goes, this is the muscle of a scallop. So when you open up a scallop, sometimes there's roe in there, there's, just the insides of scallops. And this is the muscle of the scallop. This is the abductor muscle. This is what keeps the shells of the scallop closed. Smells completely like the sea. It doesn't smell fishy or anything like that. And here is a little muscle right here. This is what connects that muscle to the scallop shell. And you just peel that right off. It takes almost no...
Do you have to peel them off?
You do not have to. It's just a little rubbery. I can't believe that Nancy would ask, how do I... that's just...
Oh, God.
Happy birthday, Nancy. Nancy's birthday was last week. How do I say to looking so young? Well, you know what the trick is? Marry a beautiful woman. That's number one. And marry somebody who supports your endeavors and who loves you back. I think that's the best advice I can give someone.
I think so, too.
Did I say that right? That's what you wanted me to say, right? So I get these little mussels. They look like little tags. Pull them off. So what's the difference between a wet and a dry scallop? Is that what you're asking? Okay. Well, first things first. A dry scallop is going to be a little pricier. The dry scallop gets caught by the scalloper, or I believe a scalloper might also be called a bonniker, if I'm not mistaken. I know that in East Hampton, the Bonnix is the East Hampton High School mascot. And I asked one time, because I was a student teacher there, and I said, what is a bonniker? And somebody said they're scallopers.
And scallops come in shells?
Scallops come in shells. Mm-hmm. It's the what? Alexa, out of nowhere. Alexa's listening. So, scallops is the wide fanned scallop shell. Whenever you see, sometimes you see shells that have a... Alexa, please stop it.
Oh, big, yeah.
It's the big fanned out. And there's sea scallops and there's bay scallops. Obviously, the sea scallop is from the ocean. It's the larger of the scallop, the little tiny bay scallops. Those are the small-shelled scallops. And Peconic bay scallop. Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket bay scallop season is coming up. I believe it opens November 1st. Last year was a very, very bad year for Peconic bay scallops. Let's hope for a different outcome this year.
Because why?
Last year the water temperatures were so high in Peconic Bay that many of the scallops just died. The rising temperatures of the bay led to an increase in bacteria and things like that. So let's hope this is a different year. Although 2020 has been going so great, I can't see it really changing. So wet and dry. Lastly, I'm sorry. The scallop, a dry scallop, gets shucked and gets brought to market. And it's sometimes called a diver scallop, or it's called a dayboat scallop, but it will always be called a dry scallop. And as I said, it'll be a little pricier than the wet scallop. So a wet scallop is a dry scallop that has been put in a water and preservative solution. So remember, this is a living organism. It sucks in the water. It sucks in the preservative, and that's what you're going to taste. So a lot of people I've made scallops for have said, these are the best scallops I've ever had. And I'm not knocking myself when I say this. It's usually because they've eaten the wet scallop, and they've tasted like a chemically thing.
Ew.
A dry scallop won't taste like that. Also, I know how to cook a scallop because, you know, I've messed up a lot of times, and I figured it out. But always get dry scallops. So the reason that the wet scallop is cheaper is because it can have a longer shelf life.
Ew.
It'll be glossy,
Ugh.
and you can't really pan sear those because when they hit the pan, a bunch of liquid gets released. So now you can't sear the scallop. The scallop is steaming in its liquids, and it's cooking in this nasty chemically flavor. So always dry scallops. Try not to eat bay scallops unless it's scallop season, because those scallops will almost always be wet, filled with chemical, and they'll have come from far, far, far away. As far as come. What'd you think?
That's all right.
It was all right. Nasty. So we have a little bit of butter. I know that we used some already, but we're going to use a little bit more because I'm going to just get some butter right into these little casserole dishes. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. So I have some butter in here. I'm going to put, in this case, I got some of this grilled lemon vinegar. Let's see if it's any good. Just a dash. So it is vinegar that has some infused lemon peel. I've never used it, but since no one's going to be eating this tonight.
Margaret Atkinson says, did you say don't get bay scallops?
Don't get bay scallops when it's not bay scallop season, because those scallops that you get, a bay scallop in July, for example, probably get from China or the Philippines. And I'm not knocking those things. I'm just saying that they've traveled so far. I try not to eat food that's traveled 6,000 to 7,000 miles. It's not going to be fresh, and it's going to have sat in that preservative. But bay scallop season is coming soon to Long Island and the Northeast. So we have that here, and I have a little bit of this white wine left. So I'm going to put some of that white wine in here. Some of this white wine as well. And now I'm going to take some of the Oreganata mixture that I made. I'm just going to crumble that right on top. And these breadcrumbs, they're going to start to dry out a little bit on top because they'll be exposed to the heat. While the white wine and the butter and the olive oil that I just put in there, that'll be on the bottom, and that's what's going to help cook up these scallops. On the bottom, and we'll get some toasty breadcrumbs on top.
Get one in the corner, in the first.
This one here?
Yeah, right, perfect.
How about that? Good?
Yep.
Okay, right into the oven they're going to go. Alexa, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Thank you. I think it's better when Alexa and I are getting along, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think people out there can feel the animosity.
I'm not sure.
Please stop talking. Is my brother Matt out there tonight? Is he watching tonight?
I don't know. I haven't seen him come on.
Judging?
I haven't seen him come on.
I just kid. How are you? Aunt Mary and Uncle Mark, happy anniversary.
How many years is it?
How many years is it? I don't know.
I'm waiting at some
Yeah,
putting
no,
it out
let's
there.
see. This is also how we find out if people are still watching. So, first things first here. Spaghetti carbonara.
The back flame is still on.
There you go, we'll turn that baby right off. So spaghetti carbonara is, a lot of people say it's a very Roman dish, but the term spaghetti carbonara really didn't appear in cookbooks or anything like that until the 50s. And it existed prior to the 1950s, but the term spaghetti carbonara was not in the normal vocabulary of the Italian folks until the 50s. It was popularized by a lot of American soldiers, though, who were supplying the eggs and the bacon after they had liberated Rome. But eggs and bacon were not new to Italy. Cooking with eggs and bacon also was not new to Italy.
Matt just joined, and my aunt and uncle have been married 47 wonderful years.
47 wonderful years. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
We've been married 2.5. 2.5. Wonderfully average. Right? Fair to average. It depends, like I said, I have to fill out these reports with Maureen, and then she judges it, and it's a process. Mm-hmm. No, these 2.5 years have flown by.
Yeah, they have.
I always say to Maureen, I loved you all my life, and she says, how? Well, I only met you, a couple of years ago, and I said that's when my life began.
Oh my God.
Credit Ray Grace. That's a Ray line.
Oh goodness.
Oh, I got beautifully boiling water here. Now, the trick to boiling water, folks, is heat. That sounds like something Guy Fieri would say. Look at the great heat you've got on the water.
Ugh.
So I got boiling water. I'm going to add some salt.
Oh, you add the salt?
You can add the salt whenever you want, but you got to make sure that salt is in that water, because the salt's going to flavor up the water. The water's going to help flavor up the pasta. So, as I said, we're going to use, right here, Ronzoni. Now, if it was a Wednesday night, of course, we would be using Prince spaghetti. Let's see if anybody knows what that means. See if anybody's listening and knows why I said that. All right, my water is boiling. Now, the pancetta and the bacon, this is important stuff here. I'm going to get that back up to heat. I'm going to add a little bit of chopped onion, just a half of a diced small onion. Well, Craig, I don't know how to dice an onion. You watched me dice the shallot before. Same thing. Still got these flyaways up here, don't I?
Yeah, what's your new haircut?
I'm trying to show off my new haircut. I had that long kind of beach boy hair.
Oh, Lord.
Which is ironic because 10 minutes at the beach and I'm burnt up. But I got the bacon working. I've got a little bit of a chopped onion. Maureen, let's do some of the garlic cam here, would you? Mm-hmm. And garlic cam tonight, folks, is brought to you by our good friends at Colgate. But when you've had too much garlic, you need some Colgate. Smash.
Might need some deodorant too, because people sweat it out.
Yeah, people sweat it out. You should sit next to Maureen after a night of Italian food.
That's not true.
Smash up that garlic like that side of the knife. Chop, 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 chop.
Wednesday's Prince Spaghetti night.
That's right. Who knew that?
Jim Phillips was the first one in.
Because that was an old TV commercial. So I got chopped garlic here. I've already got some onion working. Maureen is going to just come in real quick. For a look here. So here I've got the pancetta and I've got the bacon. And that's going to cook up my onion and garlic. It's only going to take about 2 minutes or so. We're going to get rolling on this spaghetti carbonara in real time. You ready? Mm-hmm. We got our water at a full boil. I just need about a half pound or so of the spaghetti. So spaghetti carbonara, as I was saying, is traditionally a very, very Roman dish. It gets its name somewhere in the 50s. A couple of schools of thought as to where it gets its name. The carbonara would be Italian for coal, or charcoal.
Is this true?
Don't ask me these questions in front of the people.
I'm sorry.
In goes the pasta. Yes, it is true. It is true, I promise you, honey.
Scott Wynn just joined.
Welcome, Scott. Ahoy. I've got... I'm just going to take that off the heat because my bacon is perfectly cooked at this point. I really feel very Gordon Ramsay-ish when I do this. When he's got that claw. You cook the bacon, you cook it.
Yeah.
So spaghetti carbonara, as I was saying, gets its name from the word carbonara, meaning charcoal. Some think that it has to do with a charcoal cooking of the bacon. Probably not. More than likely, it's associated with the miners. So they get a hearty breakfast of pasta, bacon, and eggs. This would be the dish, the spaghetti carbonara. Some people have told me that, no, it comes from all the black pepper that you've got to put into the egg mixture because the black pepper shows the blackness and it resembles the charcoal. So, carbonara as well. Take what you like, leave the rest. Now, some of that stuff could be true, some of it could not be true. Maureen and I had a lot of spaghetti carbonara throughout Italy. We had a lot of
Cacio pepe.
cacio pepe, the cheese and pepper dish. I had a lot of spaghetti and clams, but we had a lot of... We went to some place in Rome one night, and first night in Rome by the Spanish Steps.
Oh, alla rampa.
Alla Rampa.
Leslie will know where that is.
Leslie will know. And we sat down, 2 people, and we ordered 3 pasta dishes for dinner. The waiter didn't know what to make of us. And we went at it. Italy was tough on the belly. I was swollen by the time I came home. So I'm just going to start to mix up an egg there. The pasta is moving along nicely. Go to your package and go to al dente. Usually something like ranzoni or Barilla, something like that. It's usually about 8 minutes for a nice al dente, which means to the tooth. You should feel a little bit of a bite when you chomp into it. You don't want too soggy pasta, but the pasta is working very nicely. The bacon and the pancetta has been cooked. I take an egg here, 2 eggs in this case, and I'm going to add a lot of black pepper to it. And I'm going to add a lot of black pepper at the end as well. It's key. I kind of open this up so I get a larger grind on the black pepper. Remember that for you folks at home. If you want some chunks of black pepper, like you're putting on a steak, that's a good bit.
Oh, yeah.
And take a look here. So this would be with the nut here loosened up. You can see those are large chunks of black pepper. I tighten it up, and now I'll get a much, that's the last vestiges of it. Now I'll get a much finer grade of black pepper. Yeah, a little something. A little gift from me to you. I'm going to add some cheese to my egg. That was a little bit of pecorino. And then I have some Parmigiano Reggiano. Alexa, how much is left on my timer?
You have 4 minutes and 40 seconds left on your 15-minute timer.
Thank you, Alexa. And I'm going to just grate up a little bit of fresh cheese here as well. That should do it. Kind of work this in, and this is a great mixture here. My mother makes a wonderful, wonderful spaghetti carbonara. A lot of people like hers much better than any restaurants that they go to. People love my mom's, and I do too. Definitely one of those, last meal on earth type of things. So the pasta's getting close. And the bacon and the pancetta is nicely cooked. The onions have cooked. The garlic have cooked. Here in the States, we usually use bacon. We could use some boar's head ham if you wanted to, or any sort of deli ham. It's got a lot of salt in it. It's a last ditch thing, but this is a dish that you can just sort of use what you have in the cabinets. You probably have spaghetti. You probably got a jar of cheese sitting around, a couple of eggs, maybe bacon in the freezer. As I said, when I was a kid, my mom would use bacon, but in a pinch, if there was some deli ham in the fridge, she would chop that up and throw that in there as well. Tonight, I use a little bit of pancetta, or as Giada would say, pancetta. And that is that's Italian pork. It's a cured pork from the belly of the pig. In Italy, traditionally, it would be used with guanciale. You would use guanciale to start that up. You would render the fat from that, and that is the cheek of the pig. So either way, make sure you get some pork product in here. I don't recommend Spam, but in a pinch, who am I to judge?
Yeah.
Who am I to judge? So let me take a look at the pasta here and see how close we are. But one of the main keys here is when we bring all these items together is that we don't scramble these eggs. That's the trick here. Oh! Not ready, but close.
Could you use salt pork?
Yeah, you can use salt pork, but I would stay away from it. Salt pork, I think that's better used in like a chowder, something that's going to sit in some liquid for a little while longer. If you can get your hands on some guanciale, that. Otherwise, just regular American bacon and some pancetta. And as Maureen said, you can buy pancetta already chopped up and cubed at the supermarket. I think it's in aisle 7.
I think so too.
So how does my mom do it? She gets this mixture here done, and I'm going to do it just the same way that she does it. She takes the pasta right out of the water and into the bacon, and that reduces the temperature of the pan just enough that when I start to add the eggs, I'm going to be making a sauce here as opposed to scrambling eggs. When I've made this dish in front of 40, 50 people with Larry at a library, what I've done in that case, because of space and things like that, is I've taken my meat mixture with the oil that has been rendered, I mix that with the eggs when it's not hot, and then I just take out the pasta and I put this right into the pasta and mix it up. The point is that the heat from the pasta is what's going to cook these eggs. I think Maureen's going to eat this spaghetti carbonara tonight, so I want to make sure the pasta's cooked to her liking.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Yeah, little bowl.
Okay. We're going to make sure you have it nice.
Oh, you like it nice.
You like it nice? You like it? You like it the sauce? You like it the juice? All right, now.
The moment of truth.
Here's where I get a little nervous. At the end, I'm going to hit it with some fresh parsley as well. But for now, it's very important. Alexa, stop it, please. Thank you. Oh, those look nice. They do. They look really nice.
Okay. Need more time?
Yeah, I'll just leave them in. If they overcook, they overcook. These folks aren't going to taste them. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it as is for now. Because I only did 15 minutes. So, let's get Maureen in here for the Carbonara camp. Sponsored tonight by our good friends at Guanciale Auto. When you can't get to the train, go to Guanciale Auto and buy a car. Bad credit, bad savings, no problem. Guanciale Auto. Okay, here we are. So, Maureen has got, I see I got a bit of a low flame here. I got my bacon, I got my pancetta here. Out comes my spaghetti. I'm going going to get the spaghetti all sorts of mixed up in the meat and the rendered fat. This is hot, but it's not hot enough that it's going to scramble this egg. I hope not. So, I take a little bit of pasta in here, and I just wipe out the rest of that egg.
That's a good move.
Just throwing it up. And there we go, folks. This is spaghetti carbonara. A little bit of heat back there, so that's okay. Now, if I wanted to, if I felt like, oh, it's too thick, it's not saucy. It's not saucy, Greg. I would take a little bit of my pasta water. I put that right in there. But I don't even think this needs it.
Didn't look like it did.
No. So I'm going to leave that back there. I'm so excited to have Maureen eat this. I think she's going to love it. I really think she's going to love it. A little more fresh parsley. And this really does serve a role with the dish. And this is not to be cheeky at all, Maureen. But it's a very rich dish. You've got eggs, cheese, you've got bacon, pasta. It's a very heavy dish, let's be honest. We have to sort of cut through some of that fat with a little bit of freshness with this parsley. And that's what I've done right here. Oh, I'm excited about it.
Me too.
I'm going to keep that over here because we have to garnish that as well.
It smells good. Someone was asking how it's.
Good, good, that's good. Now last week my brother Matt had sent us a video of some pasta that he made with a beautiful lamb ragu. And Matt really made this beautiful bird's nest with a long fork. It really came out nice.
Show off. Kidding.
Some restaurants, they'll serve a spaghetti carbonara at a high temperature with an egg yolk right in the middle of the nest. And then as the diner, you break up the egg yolk and you mix it in yourself. But if I'm going out to eat and I'm paying for it,
I don't want to do the work.
I'd rather they didn't work. You know what I'm saying? So let's get my Nana's wooden spoon here. And take our spaghetti carbonara. Okay. Oh, it really looks good. Last but not least, as I mentioned, a little extra black pepper. You okay with that, honey?
Yep. What is her deal?
I don't know. Alexa, are you possessed?
No.
Okay. So now in Italy, when you sit down to have your spaghetti, no spoon. They don't give you the spoon. You got to do it just with your fork. We learned that on night one, didn't we, honey?
Yeah.
Take out a nice big clump here for you. One more little one. I'm just gonna do one little one for you, honey.
Yeah, that's fine. Is it true that if you use dry herbs to rub them between your hands for better flavor?
Well, the reason I would rub dry herbs together between my fingers would be to try to release any sort of oils that are in those dried herbs. So that is the only reason I would do it. I don't use a lot of dry herbs. I use a lot of dried thyme, But that is why I would do it, to rub it together, to release any oil in there. And you know, with cooking, if there are things that you do that your mom did or your old uncle did, and you want to do them because they make you feel good, that's what you do it. Some fresh Parmigiano Reggiano on there for you, honey. And now let's come in here for a nice tight shot. That's a beautiful bird's nest of pasta I think we got there.
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous, honey. Good job.
What was that?
Good job.
Sorry?
Good job.
Thank you. So my Nana, who's no longer with us, she'd been like 100 and something, so it's okay. I didn't leave it a lot of items, but I loved eating as a child with this. She had this set of silverware that had these like wooden handles, spoons, forks, and knives. I'm sure a lot of you had them. I just kept one. I don't know why. It makes me feel like a kid again.
Yeah, I get that.
You know? It's nice. That's for you, my honey.
Thank you.
Now, that is spaghetti alla carbonara. The black pepper represents our, that represents, is that the fork?
I'll just give me one.
Yeah, just make up another dirty fork. I'm doing the dishes. And as I said, I just loved it throughout Italy. If you do have a chance, hopefully someday we all get to travel again. Boy, we had such a great time.
Yeah, we did.
And if that's dry, so what I do when I serve spaghetti carbonara to a group of, say, 6 people, I will include on the table a little dish. Where's that thing that I have somewhere here?
It's very good.
I use this sometimes. I'll put a little bit of the pasta water in here with a candle underneath, and this will keep the pasta water hot on the table. So if people want to help themselves to seconds, because it's going to constrict very quickly. A little bit of that pasta water will help thin it out. Max, there's some lobster in there. How about that? Do you want a little pasta water in there, honey?
No, I'm okay for right now.
You sure? Okay. Let's take a look at our Scallops Oreganata.
What is a cheese you would not use to make carbonara?
Toe cheese, first of all.
Ew.
I would not use. I don't know why you really would venture away from Pecorino Romano or Parmesan. You want to make sure it's a good, solid, hard cheese. Okay, something that is usually aged, 6 to 9 months at a minimum. This is your best way to go. There's no reason to use something that's not an Italian hard cheese. Like you would not want to put grated Swiss cheese in there. It's a completely different flavor profile. So stick to those. Oh, a bit of caution if you have that like 4C Parmesan cheese at home. It's not going to be the best thing because there's so many preservatives in that cheese to keep it shelf stable that you lose real flavor. So do yourself a favor and get the best cheese possible. I go down to Cereso's in Astoria because the wheel is right there. I can literally say, "Hey, who cut the cheese?" and they'll be able to tell me. Right that. Oh, today Louis cut the cheese, or Bobby cut the cheese. So something to consider.
Nice one.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, honey. Those extra couple of minutes. You're joking me right now, folks. You're currently joking me with how good these look. Unbelievable. I am really happy with the way these babies came out. Oreganata are done. I'll put that right. Oh, that looks like crap. Just a little extra lemon there for some color. And I'm going to pull one of these scallops out so that you can see how bright white it is. It's cooked all the way through. These breadcrumbs, you can see the darkness on here. The butter has helped it toast up. So I'm just going to take a half of one of these guys. And you could take some angel hair pasta, believe it or not, because you've got some liquid in there. And toss some angel hair pasta with just a touch of olive oil and put this right on top of it. Wow. That's tasty. Well done, Craig.
Oh.
Any questions? Any questions out there tonight?
No, just looks amazing. Can't wait to make this myself.
Okay. If anybody's interested, you're watching on Facebook, I encourage you, of course, to take yourself over to the Bayport Blue Point Library. It's a mouthful. Facebook page. They've got the recipes listed right up there. If anybody didn't get them and you don't feel like doing that, you can always email me, Craig at blockislandseafood.com. That's Craig at blockislandseafood.com. Check out the website at www.blockislandseafood.com. www.blockislandseafood.com. And we had some questions during the week regarding Bisco swag. So the t-shirts, the aprons are all available. You can buy them online at www.blockislandseafood.com. Okay?
Beautiful.
They're $20 each, 2 for $40.
Oh, well.
So, no more questions?
No, just great job. Looks yummy.
I look young?
Yummy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, if there are no questions, then I guess I'll say for tonight, October 5, happy birthday, Ashley. What's that? That's October 5th? I know, it's nuts. It seems like a week ago. It was like, oh my God, what's this thing? Huh? It's March 13th and the world is closing? And
Yeah.
now here we are 7 months later. But from Maureen and myself and all the folks here and the support staff and everybody here at Studio 1C, we want to wish you happy eating, remind you to be kind to one another, even when others aren't being kind. You can be kind. Wear your masks. Let's look after each other. Other than that,
Ciao, ciao.
go in peace. Ciao and
What
bon
was good-
appetit.
What was good night?
Buonasera.
Buonasera.
Buonasera.